So you've bought a Porsche, and keeping that Porsche on the road is always going to cost quite a bit of money. In today's video, I'm going to be going through 5 tools which I think are essential for any Porsche owner when it comes to maintaining and looking after your Porsche. So let's get into the first one. Now, the first tool or bit of equipment that I think is essential to owning these cars is one of these, a battery trickle charger. You can go for any brand. C-Tech is definitely the leader. With a Porsche being a weekend car, these can go for quite long times being parked up and not being driven, and end up in the battery going flat and causing electrical faults and issues. So you always want to keep the battery topped up, so when you do come to drive it, you're just going to turn the key and off you go when you're not using it. Especially over winter, this is a must. So where this goes is just under here. You've got your battery there. You'd have the main body plugged into the mains with this one on here and this one on here, and you can already see that's brought up that there is charge in the battery. So that is an essential over winter to keep your car's battery health in top shape. So let's move on to the next. So the next tool that I would say is essential for owning a Porsche can be, and this goes for mainly Boxsters, I would say, versus Caymans and 911s, because Caymans and 911s, Caymans have a little bit of storage up here on the shelf where the roof comes down above the engine, and 911s you have the rear seats. And what the tool is one of these. I've picked up from Halfords a Noco Boost Sport. I'm not entirely sure what sport means, but this was the cheapest one they did. It was about 80 quid. And the reason I needed this, my car battery cable had disconnected, and this actually happened when I was filming with Trevor from Rolling Slow Media. What happened was there was a loose connection from my battery to the ground, meaning that the car would not start and there was no power to any electronics. So the key was stuck in the ignition and I couldn't open the bonnet to get the jump leads because there was no electricity, and the bonnet release is electric. So what I had to do was go to the fuse box down here in the footwell and pull out this connector. And what you do here is you put a jump lead on that and on a ground, and that will give the car battery and allow you to open the boot to get a full jump. Now, personally, I think that's a massive flaw in Porsche's design, because the reason I would recommend getting one of these is because you might run out of battery or something like that might happen where you don't have other cars around. So even to get to the problem, you're not able to open the boot. So what you would do with this is it comes with these 2 small cables, and you can connect this, one to that tab and one to the door post, and you just press the on button there, and that will give you power to open the boot. And then this can jump the main battery itself. You don't need another car to help you out, which I think for a Porsche Boxster, where it is difficult to keep jumper cables in the body of the car, I think this is a must. I never leave without it now. So that's number 2. Let's go for number 3. So number 3, I feel, is an essential in all slightly older cars, but especially if you're looking to buy a 997 or a 987, you will need one of these. And that is a cheap OBD2 reader. Just for any issue that could come up, it allows you to know whether it's a drastic issue or not, giving you peace of mind. Since I had a rebuild on this, the engine warning light has come up once or twice, and I get very nervous as soon as I hear a peep in this car, but they've always turned out to be nothing major. So, for example, right on cue, there is the check engine light. So what we're going to do is, on a UK car, the OBD port just down there, and I'm going to scan. Codes found, read codes, and it is a catalytic sensor, so I am just going to delete that because it is to do with the exhaust that I've put on. Since I've put on that Top Gear exhaust, I have been getting that code, so I'm not sure whether it is actually a sensor that's worn out or whether the exhaust has messed something up with it. So, but that is an essential. It lets me know that I can carry on driving with peace of mind that the engine's not going to blow up. So that was number 3. On to number 4. Now, number 4 isn't something that you would actually bring around with you while you're driving the car. What it is a good quality, low profile jack, because with working up with these cars, the maintenance can be quite expensive, and doing small jobs are actually quite easy to do yourself. So I would say to get this car up, I did start off with a low quality Amazon special jack, which couldn't get the car high enough, and I didn't really have the confidence in lifting it all that way. It just didn't feel like a very high quality item, and it would take a lot of time, or it would be quite difficult to raise it all the way. But after buying a high quality racing low profile jack, it really made a difference on how quickly I'm able to get this car up. And also with these cars specifically, they are quite difficult to jack up, both the front and back. It's all done by the rear here, but that's another video. So I think to be able to work on these cars efficiently yourself, you do need a high quality, low profile jack. From doing the brakes myself, I actually bought one as part of that, but that is definitely number 4, and that will really bring maintenance costs of these cars down as well. So the last tool that I recommend you get for your Porsche isn't actually a tool that you would find in Halfords or an automotive store or anything like that. It's something that you would get from a music store, or I just got mine off Amazon for about £5. And what it is it's a trombone cleaner. So it's just a big long wire spring with a brush on either end. A big issue with the slightly older Porsches, and also and specifically Boxsters, because the roof drains down into the drains holes, is after winter, or having sat under a tree, a lot like this car, the drain holes can clog up, and that will just cause endless issues for electrical faults. It can cause water to come into the cabin, and also rust and rot and things like that inside the car. So there is in fact a drain hole just here, and you can just feed this down into there, and that will go all the way through the car down to the bottom, give it a bit of a stir around, and then pull it back up. Water should flow through there. I would recommend doing this probably after it's been sat under a tree for a while, or towards the end of winter. That's my 5 tools that I recommend any Porsche owner gets. So if you have any suggestions of what you think I missed, drop it in the comments below. I know that a high percentage of you aren't subscribed, so please do change that by subscribing down below. I will see you in the next video for many more videos on this car and events.